Hey everybody, great to see you all here. Hope you're all having an incredible day. I am here with the wonderful Stacey Brass-Russell, who I had the privilege of meeting in New York in May and really loved, first of all, how much of a breath of fresh air she is. How we've been having the most incredible conversation just right before we jumped on, all about how to not fall for all of the chatter and all of the noise and all of the negativity that is going on in the industry. There's so many conversations happening about, trust in the market being gone and AI and how we're all finished and all of these conversations that are really leading a lot of people to burning their businesses down. And Stacey is here to share with you today exactly why you do not have to do that and the things to consider, what you might need to really evolve as opposed to burning the business down. So welcome, Stacey. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Maeve. I'm so happy to be here with you.
So we're going to have such a good conversation because
Yeah.
we've been going for 15 minutes already. We've covered a lot of ground. So we want to make sure that we are speaking about, first of all, what are you seeing going on in the market, Stacey?
So there is truth to the fact that we are in what you're hearing a lot of people call a trust recession. And what that means actually is just that there was this real flurry during the pandemic time where people were very they were very loose with their buying and their purchases. A lot of people saw it as an opportunity to maybe like pivot, start something new. And there was a lot of online kind of, of like a flurry in the online world of people purchasing courses, people creating courses, people, seeing the opportunity while everybody was like at home and on Zoom to, start businesses or to do things differently. And there was for a lot of us, there was a real sort of like, surge of business. And then what has happened in the last basically 2 years or so is that we've seen a decline in that. And the decline is because a lot of people got burned. That's just like a simple way to put it. A lot of people were disappointed, were let down. They were sold on all kinds of things that maybe didn't deliver, or maybe they didn't get the results that they wanted. And there have been a lot of changes, obviously politically, like in the world, and a lot of economic changes. And all of that has led to people just basically being more discerning about like where they spend their money, what they spend it on, how much they're willing to spend. So this trust recession, is being talked about everywhere as if no one's buying, no one's investing. And what it's causing, it's not true. And what it's causing for a lot of business owners is this like panic, fear, and scarcity. And what they're doing is they're thinking that the solution is to change their offers or to like change what they're doing, right? And this is a big part of what we're going to talk about, is sort of think that like they had to come up with something new and different. And I like to say, or something smaller, cheaper, and in my opinion, a lot of ways, like dumbing down their work, sort of like moving further away from their specificity and their brilliance and trying to like reach a more like maybe a mass market or appeal to the person that might not want what they really do. And so there's a lot of people that are feeling very confused about what to do with their business. So that's one major thing. And then the other thing that's coinciding is AI. And I think that there's also a lot of fear mongering out there that like, no one needs a coach or a therapist or like a teacher because they can get it now from AI. And so people are feeling really panicked that they're going to be replaced. And that's another reason why they're thinking, well, maybe I can't be a coach anymore. Maybe I have to like come up with like something else. And all of this is causing a lot of people who really have a particular thing that they're passionate about doing, who have missions, who really want to do a certain kind of work in the world. It's making them feel like they can't, or like they have to change what it is. And that pains me. It literally causes me pain for that.
I think one of the things that really struck me from when we were chatting before is that the people you work with are people that focus on is a human focused work.
Yeah.
And are you seeing these people like leaving the industry, Or are you seeing these people just panicking about all of the noise and all of the things going on?
I think both. I mean, I see both. I see some people thinking, especially people that are earlier in their businesses, a lot of them are feeling like, "Ah, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if it's worth it," right? Like people who may have like, so I have a lot of people that come to me who are very early, like because I'm an expert in helping people build what I call transformational businesses, right? So anybody who's out there doing the kind of work in the world where they're trying to help other human beings have some sort of transformation, outcomes, results. They're the teachers, they're the coaches, they're the people that are really passionate about helping other people, right, to achieve something. When, and so a lot of times people will have just come out of a certification, they're a health coach, they're a life coach, they became, they want to start a coaching business because they're leaving maybe even a work that they were doing, and now they want to start their own thing, and they realize they can be a leadership coach, like they can be all of these, people that have a reason to start a coaching business, or they want to start running a group program. They want to be serving more people. And if it's early stage, those people are the ones who are more likely to give up because no one ever taught them what they really needed to do in order to really get that clarity about what they're offering, what they do, what their messaging needs to be, how they need to enter into this very, very crowded. I mean, everyone and their mother can promote their services on social media. I mean, like marketing is free. Like for right. And so it's really hard if you had no idea what you were doing and then you think I people need me, which they do, but you
Yeah.
don't know how to have those people find you. And then you come into this and you can't get clients because you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing to get the clients. And those people are the ones that I do see going, I don't know if I can do this. And they give up.
Yeah, they give up. Yeah.
People that already have the businesses are the ones who are questioning whether or not they need to change their whole business model or change their offers because are they ever going to be able to sell what we reference as high ticket offers, which are those one-on-one or those
Yeah.
high touch services are cost more money. Like, and I think that a lot of people who really should be doing the high touch work, the people that whose clients are the ones that need the actual coaching and mentoring and that live human, in order to help them get results, those people are the ones who are trying to like turn their businesses into automation, or they're trying to sell low ticket courses, or they're trying to do these things that remove a lot of that human interaction because that's kind of the only way to charge less, right? But
Yeah.
what they're not doing is serving their clients anymore at the highest level.
Yes. Okay. And are you seeing people shift niche, or do you feel like it's just what products they offer? Or again, is it both?
I think it's a little of both. I think that people are thinking that maybe and this is not what I think. I think people are trying to broaden broaden what they do and who they serve, thinking that they'll get a bigger piece of the market. That's A. And then B, they are changing their offers and sort of, being scared that no one's going to want the thing that
Yeah.
costs more or that is a longer commitment, which is what often it takes to get people the results that they want, right?
Yeah.
But instead of doubling down on knowing what you do and on knowing what your clients need, even though they don't know what they need, they're sort of like trying to go in the other direction and go, well, I think I'll just give people what they think they need, which is something that's cheaper and shorter or, less of a commitment. And unfortunately, that's not great for your business model because in order to start charging less, you just need more people. You need more. Like it's a math
It
problem.
needs a paid traffic strategy. And
Yeah.
that's right. So let's move the conversation now to kind of, so we've talked a little bit about the people panicking, AI, consumer trust being different and change, and everybody whispering about, oh, the market is changing,
Yeah. The
and
market.
all of the things. Let's shift a little bit now to what we want them to do instead. Okay, so I often find that people say, don't do this, but they don't
Right.
actually give helpful advice of
Yes.
here's what to try, here's why you don't need to burn your business down, here's what you could do instead. So
Yeah.
let's start to unpack that a little bit. And if
Yeah.
we start with offers, and then we can move then to kind of the client attraction piece. And
Yeah.
later on, I will tell everybody all about your incredible event that is upcoming in New York City in October.
Yeah. Yeah.
Using the QR code there on screen, make sure that you grab your early bird ticket today, because the early bird pricing ends literally tomorrow.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's dive into kind of get into solution mode for offers, and then we'll move to client attraction.
Yeah. So I talk about, and my event is centered around this. I've given it a name because that's the smart thing to do when you're out here trying to, do your work in the world. And we're going to talk about that. So, I've created what felt like the easiest way for me to help people see what they really need to be doing right now instead of panicking, I call it doubling down on what you really do. And so I'm calling this your genius edge, right? And your genius edge is
that's the name of your event.
It's the name of the event, but it's a framework. And what I'm going to be teaching at the event is understanding that your genius edge, right? In order to stand out in the market, in order to not think that the way to go is to make yourself smaller or dumb it down, but actually go the other direction, which is to go, how are you going to make yourself stand out? What do you really want to be the go-to person for or be known for, right? I'm helping you to turn this into what I call your genius edge, right? And your edge is that thing that only you have. And it's also what can't be replaced by AI, right? And so it's the intersection between your brilliance and your genius. Like, what do you really help people do? Like, what are you really the best at doing? And what is your zone of genius? And your zone of genius is not just like what your certification is or what you say you do. It's really, what are you bringing forward from all of your trainings, your certifications, like all of it, but also who you are, your life experience, your values. Like, what is it that you really, really, really help people to do? And then it's the second piece is your offer or your offers, right? And the offers are really, how is it best for you to serve your clients and deliver your amazing work? What kind of offers should that be? And I think that people don't stop to think about that, and they just go with like, I'm going to do a course. I have to do it.
Or they see what their mentor did, or somebody that was their advisor, and they're like, that's what they did, so therefore that must be what I should do too.
Exactly. So like offer structure and like what is going to be the best. I know people don't love the word container, but sometimes it's like the only way to but it's sort of like, how do you design an offer that is really, really how you can deliver that genius to the person who's investing, and making sure that that offer is designed for the client's success. And I think that this is missing in the marketplace. And then the third piece is, how do you leverage your genius and your brilliance and what makes you unique and you, and use your talents and use the best way for you to show up in your sales and attraction strategy. And what I mean by that is, I, for example, am a live launcher. Okay. I am somebody who, I get clients by doing what you and I are doing right now, right? Put me in a room with people. Let me teach you.
Just light up and off you go.
Let me give you some transformation, which I will. And I'm going to show you how I can help you. I'm not just going to try to sell you with a bunch of bonuses and a bunch of urgency and fear. I'm literally going to get you in a room with me. And in that time that you're with me, you're going to experience something, and it's going to let you know what I can really help you with. And that's how you're going to decide if you want to work with me, right? And so we all need to know what our best mode is of attracting our ideal clients. And we also all have to know what our best sales strategy is for us. I have learned, I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I have a lot of friends who, when I'm in a launch, they'll be like, and very well meaning. They'll be like, well, are you doing a fast action bonus? What are you doing for people? How are you going to get them to do something while you're on the call with them? And over the years, I've like, because I feel like, oh my God, I guess I should be doing what other people, I've
Yeah.
tried those things. And
Yeah.
over time, I've been like, it's just not for me. Like, that's not what I do. That's not how I sell. And I think that there's so much out there, like the bro marketing and there's all of these tactics that some of the like big gurus tell you should do. And then people try to
Yeah.
do that to
Yeah. And then
sell.
the market gets spun out on that, and then the next shiny pony comes along, and
Yeah. And it's not in alignment with them. Like, it doesn't feel aligned. It doesn't feel like this is how I want to sell. And so your genius edge is this intersection between what is the best, what do you do? That's the first part. How do you do it? Like, what are the offers that are going to be the best offers for like what you do and for the people you serve? And then what's the best way for you to attract people and sell your services? Like, are you somebody who's really going to sell with an automated funnel? Like, are you like, there's so many people out there who are saying like, I don't even do sales calls or discovery calls. And I'm like, great. My audience of people, they want to talk to me before they invest with me. Like, I sell.
But this is not about you saying everybody should do it the way you do it. It's
No.
all about discovering which is the right modality for you, and then building that. So having your own business, and then there has to be a traffic conversation in here too, because it never ceases. Like, I no longer work with kind of newer entrepreneurs, early stage entrepreneurs. I'm working very much with thought leaders now. But I do remember that chapter of business when I was working with newer entrepreneurs, and we talk about these micro offers. Like, micro offers are really, really powerful. But I often used to kind of like chuckle in bewilderment almost with people who maybe had 6 followers on Instagram, like I'm being sarcastic. So they have 6 followers on Instagram. They've posted twice. They've got a $7 offer. And I'm kind of like, why am I not making money?
Right.
So if you only have, say, for example, somebody identifies, yes, micro products are the thing for me versus a super high ticket, super intimate engagement.
Right.
We got to have realistic traffic conversations with people as well. So if you want to live a life off a $47 thing, unless you've got an absolutely like massive organic audience, it is going to require paid traffic. So we can't say, I've got 6 followers on Instagram, I want to earn 10K a month or 20K a month or whatever the number is, but I'm refusing to run paid traffic. It doesn't work like that.
But that's what nobody's talking about. When people are telling people, go with that
course, and you're like,
go with that low ticket trust building offer or whatever. And then for somebody who doesn't have a business yet, that's why I said, like, that's not for those people, and no one's talking about that.
They work in because we had 6 micro courses always inside of our business. They work incredibly well, but we were running paid traffic to those things.
Exactly.
We were in positive ROAS, but we had the bumps and the OTOs and the 10K program on the back end and all of those things.
And I always tell people, when you're first starting your business, unless you have the capital to fund your business with a minimum of $5,000 a month in ad spend, I think, to create that sort of like paid traffic funnel for yourself. And here's the other thing, but if your audience, if you haven't dialed in what you really, really do, those micro offers are not going to necessarily attract your ideal clients to move them into your higher ticket offers. And I know a lot of people who have spent a lot of money and they get people into their ecosystem, onto their list or whatever. And then those people, though, are not the people who want the next thing that actually does, because you gotta have, to run a business that's making a lot of money just with low ticket offers, that's like a whole business model, right? Like, that's like a
absolutely, and it's like there are people out there making 400K a month, but they are running tens of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads.
Exactly.
That's okay. Exactly. But if you don't have that back end ascension model, the whole thing will fall over.
100%. And you can't create that as you're starting. I don't believe that you can start that way. And maybe I'm wrong. Like, I'm sure that there are people out there that do, but the people that come to me that are coaches or teachers or who are really wanting to like actually work with people, like, I always say, Maeve, I don't want that kind of, would I like 400K a month? Yeah. But to be honest with you, my passion is to actually coach people. Like, I think I'm a real live coach teacher. I don't want to like, I don't believe that I can help people get the kind of results that I want to help people get by having them watch a couple of videos, right? So like, so that's not me. So for the people who do have a live business and want to actually coach and teach people, even if you used a paid traffic situation, the hope would be that you're just doing that so that you can identify who the people might then be who would then move into your offers where you're actually working with them, and those are going to be higher ticket offers. Like no one's delivering one-to-one live human services for $47, right? So, or I hope you're not.
That's like crazy.
I hope you're not. So like this is why everybody needs to really be able to think about like, what is the way that they want to deliver their work ultimately? And then when you're choosing that sales and attraction strategy for you, you've always got to be, and I always say, if you, like, I was actually for my event, I'm like, I have all these ideas for, I always like to open with something. And, one of my ideas was like, one of the slides is going to say, what do you want to get paid for? Because I think that people really don't, I think that people, when they're not being strategic, they don't always think about what do they ultimately think they need to get paid for to really make the substantial revenue in their business. And so if you get all caught up in this low ticket stuff, and this sort of all you think you need is like lead generation, but you haven't been thinking about like, what do you ultimately though think is going to be the main bulk of your revenue, which if you're a human deliverer, it's going to be a high ticket offer. Then you have to be thinking about like that traffic strategy. You still need to be attracting the kind of people who would eventually pay for the high ticket. You don't want to only attract people that are never going to want anything.
Trying to piecemeal all of these $47 things together to get the solution. But they were never going to be, the 10K people or the 20K people in the first instance.
Exactly. And so if you know that that's really where you want your business to go, then you have to think about like, what is that attract? Now, as far as what is the alternative to paid traffic, right? Well, first of all, you have to invest a lot of, I always say we have three commodities that we have to use as humans: time, energy, and money.
That's what I always laugh. People think organic is free, and you're like, no, it's not.
Right. So we've got time, energy, and money.
And you pay with your time.
Yeah. So with organic, it takes longer. You have to invest a lot more of your time and energy into how to make that work. But I also really believe that in the beginning, it is a great strategy, because here's what I always say. If you're selling a high ticket offer, and high ticket is whatever, for some people it's $1,500, $2,000, for other people it's $5,000, $10,000, right, and up. But wherever you are in your business, if you're selling a substantial offer, I want you to think about the fact that like, all you need is one person to pay you that money to generate $1,500, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Right. And so how many leads do you need for that? You don't need many if you're talking to the right people. So when you're first starting out your business, the number one best way to get clients is to find as many people as possible to actually talk to. And the way that we do that is by building relationships with other business owners, is by literally getting out of our homes. Like, people that think they're going to build a business sitting behind their computer only, like, they're mistaken. Like, it's really hard to do that. You gotta get out there. You got to talk to people. You've got to build those relationships. Maeve and I, for everyone watching, if anyone's watching, we met through one of our mentors, Selena Sue, and we were at a Rich Relationships event, which is all about leveraging relationships, building relationships. And I believe that you can do that online as well. It just takes a lot of time and energy. And, but there is a way to do it, because if you're not trying to build a business on volume, it's much easier if you think about, like, you really just need one client at a time to get to where you want to go. And even I built over 6 figures in my business without ever running an ad. I think I was already over $200,000 in my business before I ever ran an ad. And all I've ever run ads to are my live events that I do to launch my program.
Yes, I love it. And then, because my absolute favorite is what I call scalable organic. So you, rather than doing your, your one post on LinkedIn or your one post on Instagram and your reach being whatever the algorithm gives you, depending on the quality of your content. I love scalable organic, i.e. podcast guesting, speaking on stage, live streams in front of other people's audiences, just like this one, where the same hour of your time can get, if you're on a big, I just booked myself there onto a massive podcast, in October, and that's going to get me in front of hundreds of thousands of listeners versus, people who are on this hamster wheel focusing on the wrong activities, putting energy into the wrong activities instead of thinking, how can I get either in front of the people who also serve my people, or how can I get in front of people where there are going to be thousands of eyeballs, tens of thousands of eyeballs instead of just one.
Exactly. And then when it comes to like creating content on your own feed, for example, right? Like if you keep your feed, you do need to put content there. But then if you think about those hundreds of thousands of eyeballs, if somebody hears you on that podcast and goes, ooh, who's this Maeve, right? Then what is the first thing they're going to do? They're going to go to your social media. And then it is good to have like your presence there and your authority. But a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that posting on their own feed is how they're going to get followers or visibility. And I'm like, not really. The way
you got to build the audience.
People are going to look like, the more you can get in front of other people. And this is part of what your Genius Edge is about. So the Genius Edge, what we're also talking about is, you can't just know what your service is. You actually have to know what your message and your mission and sort of your unique point of view. That's like your genius, because otherwise, what are you going on a podcast to talk about? Or like, what?
Yeah, you gotta know your frameworks. You gotta have a call to action. It's like,
right, like
one podcast, and it's just like, right, as you know, we build diagnostic assessments and quiz funnels for our clients.
Yeah.
The best lead magnet off the back of podcast guesting. It amazes me the amount of people that speak on summits or they go to podcast guesting and they don't actually have a lead generation machine off the back of it. So they are talking hot air and hoping that somebody's going to remember their name 47
or actually just want to jump right into like working with them. And I always say, like, that's the trust recession thing. Like the idea that somebody's going to like hear you or discover you and then be a client like next week. I mean, does that ever happen? Maybe, but honestly, we don't rely on that. And what we want to rely on is that, like, if someone goes, "Ooh, she's interesting," we need them to get into our ecosystem, and then we need to nurture them, and we need to build that authority and that trust with them, whether it's through our email lists or whether it's through, them wanting to go binge our other content. I mean, I do now. I released yesterday my 189th episode of my podcast. Now people will get on a call with me, and the first thing they'll say is, and I didn't even know, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, I've listened to like 30.
I feel like I know you."
Yeah, and then they already know that like they want to work with me. We're not on a call for me to like have to like sell myself or anything.
You're not having to sell. Yeah, exactly. Very good. Right. I want to take kind of 10 minutes before we wrap just to talk all about New York.
Yeah.
So this is Genius Edge live event in New York City. I've been in the building that this event is hosted at. So it's this beautiful location in Manhattan, and just absolutely fabulous. It's on October 17th and 18th.
Yes.
So just share with everybody all about the event, who specifically gets for. Okay, I think that's really, really important, because the curation of the who in the room is critical. So let's kind of chat about who it's for, how would they know, like listening, that they are a perfect fit to be in that room, and then how they can get their hands on that early bird pricing. It goes away literally. If you watch this tomorrow, sorry.
I mean, the tickets don't go away after tomorrow. It's just that the absolute lowest price goes away tomorrow, but it's still going to be available. I mean, we are over half. I mean, it is an, we'll call it a quote unquote intimate event, because it's not a conference of like hundreds of people. I mean, I set my, we should always set goals. I set a goal for 50 people in the room with me.
Mhm.
I'm so excited to say we already have like over 30 people registered, and the event is 2 months away. So, but I
Wow.
do think it'll be intimate in that, but maybe there'll be a little more than 50 people, but like the idea is that this is an event that's not a conference. It's not hectic and chaotic. The idea is for you to come and really get to sit down and hear, hopefully, if you feel inspired by me or you think I sound like I know what I'm talking about or I'm smart or whatever, that that I will be there to basically like really pour into you and give you this time and space to go back to some of this like reminding of yourself. And maybe no one ever helped you to really lean into what your genius is like the way I can, because this is my specialty. um
Mhm.
so it's really going to be about like getting really reconnecting in case there has been that noise in your head, to what you really do. And I'll be talking about offer frameworks, and we'll be talking about like how to like really like hone in on those things that you want to be known for, so that when you want to go out and be on and we'll talk about visibility strategies, so that when you want to go and be on a podcast and on a summit, like what it is that you're saying that
Mhm.
you do, all of that kind of stuff. So it's like for some people, it'll be an evolution, I'm calling it, because it'll be an opportunity for you to think it's 2025. We're moving into 2026. There is
Mhm.
all of this talk. How do you want to like see the vision for yourself and your business? How do you want to get rerouted in like what you see as your potential for what you want to be doing? So that's sort of like what's happening. There's an amazing panel of, and Michael
Yes,
Roderick, right?
that's right. Yes,
And
yes.
Michael Roderick, and you did a live stream like last week or 2 weeks ago. So the panel has Marisa Corcoran, who's one of my best friends, who's a brilliant copy mentor,
Mhm.
Megan Hale, who's a female founder whose new software, Dream Money, is now out in the world, Michael Roderick, who we know is like an offer and framework strategist, and then Daryl Vesterfeld, who's actually the vice president of growth from Mighty Networks. And
Mhm.
he's like so that's our panel. I have some amazing sponsors, Workplay Branding. Everyone at the event is actually going to get a mini brand photo shoot, which I like can't believe I'm able to achieve. That Trista is one of the coaches that actually works for me in my academy, and she is very passionate about the event, because also this is the fourth annual. This is not my first rodeo. I am an event creator. I'm a retreat leader. My background is that I was a Broadway performer, and then I owned a yoga studio here in New York City. I've led retreats all around the world. I'm a course creator. I really am a teacher and a coach. And I've created so many live experiences. It is my passion. So this is my fourth annual. I think there's nothing better than being in the room.
It's being in the room, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like this is why I'm in America every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just being
yeah.
being in the room is just so
So, and you said,
unbelievably different.
who is this for, right? It's for the coaches, it's for teachers, it's for experts, it's for authors, it's for creatives, it's for thought leaders who are all wanting to put work out into the world, not only their visibility work, like to get like
Mhm.
to be known. And I mean, if you're like me, right? I'm a Broadway person. I'm like, I want people to know about me, right? But I also want to make money. So I think that
Yeah.
there's a lot of people want to be known, but then they're also not really thinking, like we just said, how does that lead to you making money? So
Mhm.
if you're the people that do the live work, that want to have programs and courses, and you want to be a coach and you want to deliver that kind of work, that's who this is for, right? So it's for
That's
people who are really building human centered businesses, and the way that they want to attract people is by
Mhm.
being a human.
Yay! Fantastic. Couldn't have found a better way to wrap.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Make sure you scan that QR code, guys, whenever you're watching this, and grab your ticket for this incredible live event with Stacey. It is just going to be so powerful. If I covered kind of everything that you thought we would chat about, Stacey?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add that the event. I'm a big like. I'm a foodie. You and I talked a lot about that and our love of jazz and all the things. So, when you come to an event with me, there's gourmet lunch.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And good food. That's the bit that I care about.
Yeah, there's gourmet lunch. The space is beautiful. It's a very up-leveled thing. So the other thing is, I believe that when we go into rooms like that, we leave transformed, and you don't have to be feeling like something's wrong to come to this event and actually leave feeling really, really excited. I always say, like,
how I would describe my feeling about it is it's going to be very uplifting, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're gonna leave feeling like you're really awesome. And that's like I want that for everybody. I want everybody to believe in themselves and in their possibility to be able to create the life and business that they really want. And I think that everyone will leave the room feeling a lot of possibility.
Fabulous. Right. Brilliant. Get that QR code scanned. And amazing, Stacey. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Really, really enjoyed the conversation. And